Bill Connelly has an article out right now on ESPN Plus where he takes a deeper dive into the undefeated remaining teams. In fact, he ranks them. Who doesn't love a good ranking? As you can see, and the great thing about rankings, Bill Connelly, as we say hello, is sort of like a dissertation, right? You write it, you put it out there, then you got to come on and defend yourself. So that's what we'll ask you to do now. Take us through the thought process. Again, every one of these teams has yet to lose a football game.
Yep. Yeah, I think, to me, we're looking at basically three tiers of teams. The first two are Clemson and TCU. I have TCU 6, mainly because while their offense is just about the most explosive in the country, defense is, I don't know if you'd call it the worst unit of the bunch because they're all pretty good. It's the least good unit of any of these teams we're talking about today. Fifth, I have Clemson for kind of the opposite reason. I don't think they're really elite at anything, but they're pretty good at everything. And they're really good, obviously, at game management and winning close games, as discussed earlier. The middle tier, to me, is Michigan and Tennessee. Michigan, I have third because they've looked tremendous on both sides of the ball. Very, very well-rounded. Tennessee might have the best offense in the country. Defense is one-dimensional. Very good against the run and pretty shaky against the pass. We'll see if they fade like they did last year. And then to me, the top two are pretty clear at the moment. No, I have Georgia second. I have Ohio State first. Georgia, it's really hard to poke holes in anything they do right now, but they really don't go deep very well. They don't stretch the field offensively. They get by because they're so good at everything else. But to me, Ohio State we don't know what beats them right now. They've been pretty good at basically everything. We'll find out if Michigan's recipe from last year works, but right now they look like the best team to me.
All right, Bill, thank you. And again, I find it funny. We point to Clemson and say, hey, they can win close games. And then we'll say, you know what, but they had to win a close game. Anyway, Greg McElroy, we'll let you do the same exercise. Give me your top, or rank, if you will, the undefeated remaining teams.
Well, I think Bill does a phenomenal job with his SP rankings. I think it's as good as we have in our sport as far as prognostication and being able to analyze on a deeper, more analytical level. I personally have a different criteria for how I rank my teams. I base it more on what you've done to this point. And the big one that people will mostly disagree with, as far as my rankings are concerned, I have Ohio State at 4. And the reason why I have it at 4, you heard Bill a second ago say, well, what is it, what beats them? Well, I don't know that just yet, but I know that last year they got beat badly by a team that could control the line of scrimmage. And I haven't seen them address that just yet because no one that they've played has been able to potentially expose them in that regard. They haven't played a soul. Yes, Notre Dame, they got a good win against Notre Dame. Notre Dame's not very good. Their next best win against a team that's above 500 is Toledo. So if you look at their schedule and their strength of record, it's not really all that impressive. So Ohio State, to me, is an incomplete grade, but they could get a big boost this week with a win on the road against a team that I also really like in Penn State. Michigan has the most impressive win to me as far as being able to dominate Penn State. Number 2, Georgia. I had them 3 last week. I had them up to 2 now because of how good Oregon looked. Remember, they dominated Oregon in week number 1. Then I have Tennessee, who I would have 3. That win against Alabama. Alabama is my number 7 team. I love Alabama. I think they're the best one-loss team in the country, but still, Tennessee took care of business. It just wasn't super pretty or fulfilling to me, especially on the defensive side of the football. TCU's got a much better resume than Clemson, and then Clemson I would have at number 6, who I'm just not that impressed with, but ultimately they're undefeated, and you have to give them credit for being undefeated.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.